Friday evening to you. Welcome to the WCTV Football Game of the Week here at Independence High School as the Eagles host the Franklin Rebels. Parker Hazard alongside Paul Breece. Paul, we have a Region 6 6A matchup tonight. 1-0 Independence against 0-1 Franklin. Both teams, Independence looking to stay strong and Franklin looking for that much-needed one win, don't want to get to two losses in the region.
Yeah, with 6 teams in the region, only 4 go to the playoffs. Math not too difficult here. Need a win for Franklin Rebels here. Kind of 2 teams going in the opposite direction. Coach Donnie Webb for Franklin trying to right the ship. And the Eagles coming out on offense, and there's got to be a stop by Franklin.
yeah, it definitely has to be a stop with Franklin. That offense by Independence, led by number 10, Ethan Cash. Live arm, good vision downfield. Try to get pressure on him, good coverage downfield. He has the vision to use his legs open in space, so we will see how Franklin decides to impact that defensively as the Eagles get started with a spread look with the running back to the left of Cash. Switches some things up. Franklin defense getting ready to go. Cash looking up the middle, got his receiver almost in there for a first down. Looks like that was Jackson Campbell in there for the carry.
Well, you did a pretty good job calling out the number, Parker. We have a hard time sometimes with these Indy uniforms getting those numbers, so your young guys is doing a fantastic job.
Doing my best. Yeah, those gold shiny numbers here under these lights, they look like Michael Williams always says, look great, but difficult to see as the first down pass completed quickly to Brian Pierce. And a nice stop there by the Franklin linebacking core.
So a typical Scott Blade, no huddle-ish type, fast-paced tempo offense here on the first 2 plays.
There he goes, using the legs as Cash breaks it almost up to midfield and takes a few Rebels defenders for a ride. Looks like Guy Lipscomb in there along with a few other Rebels to finally get him down to midfield. Eagles rolling.
Yeah, it's unusual to see Ethan Cash on the run, but with a
especially
big pickup.
Design play like that,
yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So quick out pass to Chase Bishop. That is going to be Ethan Cash's number 1 target. At least the first 4 weeks, that's been his go-to receiver.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't be said that he would be normally named the player of the week in any capacity last week with 5 touchdown passes and over 200 yards reception. But his good friend down the street at Ravenwood High School, was that Andrew Mason that had 8 catches, 7 for touchdowns, and over 360 yards receiving. So
national TV too. Great look for the Raptors and them, as well as the pass complete up the middle again. I believe that was Jackson Campbell as well. Chains continuing to move for the Eagles.
And Ethan Cash, I mean, as Coach Scott Blade, just keeping it simple for Cash. Tempo, just short passes, and letting the old yards after catch happen.
Exactly. Let the play develop downfield.
Absolutely.
Let your receivers and blockers do their work, and it seems like they are doing that as we have the 6th pass play of the game.
And it's picked off. I'm sorry.
Goodness gracious, no worries. Picked off by Guy Lipscomb, mentioned before. Defensive back turned quarterback and back to the defensive back.
He's the one guy in the secretary that I would not have expected back there, being the starting quarterback for the last 4 weeks for the Rebels. And, man, Cash pretty comfortable back there, just going to try to sling it through, tight coverage, aiming for Bishop. But Guy Lipscomb, the quarterback, in a unbelievable interception.
And it looks like Mr. Lipscomb is going to be coming in at quarterback, and I am wrong as he comes off the field. Who's that in there, Paul?
We'll see when we make a turn here. That's Josh Nichols, the former quarterback of the last couple years for the Rebels. So Coach Webb right there probably giving Guy Lipscomb a breather after the interception and playing defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like they're taking out Grayson Bruce and putting Lipscomb in as the tailback.
Okay, so it is going to be Nichols at quarterback, Lipscomb going to be the running back, and then, no question about it, the guy Lipscomb probably one of the top 3 athletic individuals for the Rebels.
And as we see Nichols looking right, overthrows his intended receiver.
Well, the quarterback position is not an unfamiliar position for Nichols. We talked about I think he started as a sophomore and junior for the Rebels. So he could definitely play the position. I believe he's actually going to play football at the next level somewhere. I don't want to say the wrong school, but maybe we can try to track that down at halftime.
So Lipscomb here, 3rd and long, looking right over the middle to the field, and it is broken up on the play. Intended receiver downfield was number 3, Carson Repass, and great coverage down the field. I think that was number 8.
Well, we'll see Nichols
Jackson
right here.
Campbell.
Yeah, just taking a 3-yard drop and just heaving it out there and making his receiver repass, try to go up and get it, and, man, hit him in the hands and try to got it through the 2 defenders right there.
Yeah, Campbell, they're able to disrupt the vision of Repass, but that was a good-looking throw, good-looking arm there by Nichols. So on to punt is Ian Burr. Great Rebel roll, and rolls out just inside the 10, make it the 9-yard line. Mr. Burr showing the special teams and his right leg off, pinning the Eagles deep in their own territory inside the 10.
Well, that's one of the few consistencies the Rebels have had this season is Ian Burr at the punting and kicking position. As we see the sunset backdrop that
always gorgeous here at Independence.
Absolutely. If my daughter was here, she'd taken 14 pictures of that.
So, Paul, let's see how Independence's offense, answers the interception by the Rebels, and also with a little movement up front by the Rebels defense. See how the Rebels tend to stop that fast-paced offensive air attack that the Eagles have shown so far, and maybe Scott Blade kind of changes up something.
Yeah, we'll see if the running game will develop. 2 weeks ago when we were here against Centennial, Independence showed a lot of depth at the running position.
So forward receivers spread out. And speaking of that run game, a strong run on 1st down. Looks like that was Jack Phillips, number 20, senior running back, getting the first call of the game. Good run.
Well, that was slowed down by Clay Crowder, 71 right there. That guy was hanging on for the ride and did a pretty good job, or that would have been an easy 1st down for Independence.
So gain of 8, 2nd and 2. Independence with the ball. Cash takes another design QB run, gets some space. Good block upfield, bounces it to the outside, almost makes it to the 35-yard line. And solid 2nd down run. Decent, interesting play call there by Scott Blade.
Yeah, absolutely. Second time we've seen Cash keep it himself. And maybe the Scott Blade and the offensive staff saw something in the Rebels here as we just see him tuck it. Nice kick out block there. Cash with some pretty good vision here and a smart decision to just step out of bounds and live to play another down.
Looked like they were playing man coverage with a little bit of a zone there. Now we had coverage 0 on this play as Cash finds, I believe that is Campbell, once again up the middle, and looks like they are going to spot him and move the chains for an Eagle 1st down. Once again, Ethan Cash, reading the field, not holding the ball too long. Offensive line doing a really good job giving him some time, and he's making the correct read so far, minus that one errant pass for the interception. Bobbles the ball here, giving it to Phillips, and Phillips still going. Well, with what could have been a loss of 1 turned into a gain of 2 there for Jack Phillips and the Eagles offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Strong run, slowed down by 60, Jackson Riley. You see him with the initial hit right here, and Phillips just kind of, Cash just said, here you go, take it. And a continual just
a great job
positive,
by Phillips.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2nd down and about, let's call it 7. Ball almost to midfield on the Eagles' 48-yard line. Cash with a quick throw to the right. That is Bishop, and he makes the catch and will be enough for the first down. Good defense there by number 21 for the Rebels, Jet Wilson.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a football name.
Yeah, absolutely. Jet Wilson on the play right there. I think Donnie Webb has said, pound for pound, Jet Wilson is probably one of the best on the Franklin defensive side of the football. And, you know, when you're out there on an island with number 5, Chase Bishop, you try to give a little cushion right there. And if you're 21, you just want to make the sure tackle and not let him get by you.
That's right. Kept him in front of him, and just a little bit enough for the first down. As that first down play, third play of this game with Ethan Cash keeping the ball, and judging by the spot, maybe enough for a first down.
Got a flag.
Judging by that spot, that looks like they would be going backwards. So as they discuss this play, the referee this evening is Charlie Hensley, going to be our lead official tonight, with the umpire Mark Dunn, Austin McMullen, Jeff Schleiler, Randy Morgan, David Corley, Michael Woods, David Bennett, and Adam Guild, all being a cast of our referees tonight, as we see Coach Donnie Webb trying to get his guys to take advantage of this offensive mishap and penalty. So first and long for the Eagles. Rebels looking into cover 2. And a good shot up by the crossing route there. Looks like that is number 8, Jackson Campbell, once again getting a healthy load tonight, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we got to give the credit to the guys up front. I mean,
100%.
Ethan Cash is, you know, he's got that clean jersey back there. He had seconds and seconds and seconds to throw that pass.
Hasn't even been touched tonight. Second down, looking over the middle. Pass is high. That post pattern there looked like it was intended for Brian Pierce during a double coverage. Good decision to stick with that cover 2. But yeah, like you said, the jersey's cleaned by Ethan Cash. Hasn't been touched, hasn't even had to roll out of the pocket yet, which we see him do a lot, and usually successfully.
Yeah, I think Donnie Webb is going to try to gamble and drop 6 people back into coverage and take his chances. It were paid off last time with the Guy Lipscomb interception.
Well, third and short, backing off did not pay off. Pass up the middle to number 9, Vinny Cardella.
Yeah, Michael Williams and I called him VC3.
There you go, VC3. That's a good looking name there. Good sounding name for the senior wide receiver. So Eagles moving. Not sure exactly what the time on the clock is, but eating a lot of it up on this drive. Again, we are running without a functional scoreboard here. So between Paul and I and our PA announcer, we will give you what we can.
How about that?
Huge defensive stop. Elijah Johnson able to make it into Ethan Cash, and he must have heard us. He was going to get that jersey dirty.
Absolutely. Ethan Johnson right there, number 10, came off the corner. And a little different look by Dr. Defense, Coach Donnie Webb right there.
That's right. Weren't buying the fake at all, and stayed along with their assignments. So second down and long. Cash looking left for number 5, Chase Bishop. Excuse me, that would be Brian Pierce, number 6. And
Scott Blade right there. And you talked about even rolling out of the situation. It's not really gotten challenged, Cash back there, but Jackson Raleigh, 60 right there, was in his face just enough to make him throw it short. And for those that are wondering about the Battle of the Woods, I've got some inside reporters there. 3-0 Brentwood over Ravenwood.
Now, some of these folks at home, including myself, would possibly ask, is that maybe necessarily be a trap game for Ravenwood, as Cash under pressure, able to find, looks like that is Jackson Campbell over the middle inside the red zone. And just as the Rebels were able to get a little bit of momentum on defense, Cash delivers.
Yeah, and he stays in the pocket and gets rid of it. If I was the Titans quarterback, maybe I'd come down here and watch Ethan Cash get rid of the ball. I mean, the guy can sling it.
He's getting rid of it, and his offensive line is doing great as we see another Run play.
Uh-oh.
Pushing his way into the end zone. Ethan Cash, 6 points for the Eagles. Was not going to be denied on that play, Paul.
No, and you got to give credit to Scott Blade to find something, from Ethan Cash right here that they have set up a different look where he has gotten huge chunks of yards from his legs that he normally would go to, some other guys. So tremendous job by the staff and Coach Scott Blade.
And maybe also kind of putting the ball in his hands, getting his confidence back after a couple negative plays. And even after that interception on the first drive, letting him run a few times this drive and seemed to work off or pay off as Sam Hinkie able to put the extra point through. So 7-6 Eagles.
Definitely not a fake. I mean, this was a straight design quarterback
100%
run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll take 6 on the touchdown.
And Ethan Cash, not a small kid, 6'1", 215. As we see him showing us a little bit of that size, as he was able to get in and score. So after that seemingly long drive by the Eagles, we are still in the first quarter, I believe, with a 7-0 lead for the Eagles.
Parker, that your alma mater. I mean, some of those kids right there. Not sure. I mean, you were back in the day, right? You were probably leading the crowd, or were you playing?
No, I was on the baseball
right?
team.
Absolutely.
So class of 2011, we had some great teams during that tenure there. My freshman year, first year going to the state championship. Vic Warden recently after I graduated.
Dalton?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, all right.
Of course. Great players coming out of Independence, and the cat that plays at Nebraska now.
Andrew Bunch.
Yep, I mean a lot of guys. Scott Pettigrew, back in my day, he went to Buffalo. So a lot of guys through these programs at Independence are moving on to the next level. As Hinkie kicks it off, looks like that is Reed Kemp busting it out to the 29-yard line for the Rebels. And that is where Nichols and the offense will get started here on drive number 2.
And who knows, we may see a different quarterback in this series. I mean, we see Guy Lipscomb standing next to the head referee right there.
I might have spoke a little too soon.
Well, you never know. You just never know here in high school.
But right now with how the Eagles scored on that drive and how efficient they were, I don't think there's anything left off the table if you are Donnie Webb and the Rebels offense.
I mean, if you're talking about possibly trick plays this game, I would not doubt myself at all that maybe
I would hope to see him at least.
Yeah, there's Guy Lipscomb.
There he goes, getting to see him on the outside, showing off the wheels.
And that is why Coach Webb made the change. Give the young man a little head start, and that right there was a tremendous run.
Hey, I'm a believer. I'm watching film of Lipscomb throwing the ball, not doing bad at all this year, but right there, showing that athletic ability as you were mentioning earlier, Paul, and that's a first sign of life for the Rebels offense.
Just like you, Guy Lipscomb, a baseball player. I mean, he's going to Belmont.
I did not know that. Yeah, nice, very nice. So after the big run by Lipscomb, 1st and 10 Rebels inside the Eagle territory, make it the 37-yard line, 38-yard line. Nichols drops back, empty backfield, over the middle, Guy Lipscomb again. What a catch. Paul Breece, your guy's showing out.
Guy Lipscomb, I mean, run it, catch it. I don't know what else he can do, but keeps this up, he's going to score.
Well, with that leadership, as you see in the huddle.
Josh Nichols, I mean, he checks off right here, I believe. And it's
he at least put some type of a hot route there.
Yeah, you could
open it up,
and you could tell Josh Nichols was zeroed in on number 2.
Exactly,
pretty much the whole route right there. He saw something.
1st and 10, bunches to the right. Lipscomb again with the carry up the middle. Eagles sniffed it out. Believe he was able to get a yard, maybe a yard and a half on the play. 2nd and let's call it 8. From just outside of the red zone on the 21-yard line of the Eagles.
And that carry right there shows a little bit of the a position of Guy Lipscomb at running back, kind of tiptoed to that line right there. Instead, when they ran kind of the not jet sweep per se, but kind of the outside run where he got a little more head start between the tackles.
Sure.
A little different when you start running into those big guys.
3 plays in a row that quickly could be a sign of fatigue. Nichols flushed out of the pocket. Finds a block, going to the outside, almost made it to the goal line. Huge block on the outside edge by Carson Repass, opening up the lane for his quarterback, able to make it to the 2-yard line. Huge play, and the Rebels are now into the red zone.
Yeah, and I think if there's one thing Donnie Webb wants to do here is just try to keep the game, keep the ball away from the Indy offense. Clock management. Unfortunately, we can't tell how much time's left.
But I will say, this is the fifth play of the drive. They're marching down the field. Of course, that large, the big gain by Lipscomb on that second down was huge. But they are wide to the right. Lipscomb gets the ball up the middle, and he scores. Touchdown, Rebels. And they're an extra point away of tying this ball game, Paul. I'm assuming late in the first quarter. Don't know. But this is turned into a football game.
Yeah, absolutely. Guy Lipscomb has found a little new life as the running back. And, Donnie Webb's probably over there going, man, why didn't I do this 4 weeks ago?
It's part of coaching, and like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, how important this game is. There's 6 teams in your region, only 4 go to the playoffs. Like you say, do the math. You don't want to start off region play with 2 losses. As Hinkie pipes one down the middle for the extra point, and we have a tie ball game here at Independence High School.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even up 7-7.
And here we see it right here, just a straight power run here by Lipscomb. And, there was pressure right there. Independence got up the field. Guy Lipscomb with great vision, and he runs in untouched for the touchdown. He's probably thinking to himself, man, I got hit more when I was the quarterback. I'm liking this running back thing.
That's right. And, the offensive line did their job on that drive. And what more could you ask for from the offense if you are Coach Webb over there on the Rebels sideline? And now if you're over here on the Eagles sideline, Scott Blade, what's your message to your team? At great offensive possessions, both times that you've had the ball, you are able to move the ball down the field. Rebels were just able to answer on that drive.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Let's see how the Eagles answer.
Yeah, Franklin took it upon themselves, the challenge. Josh Nichols, the senior, coming in and leading the Rebels right down the field with him and Guy Lipscomb, the big guys up front, doing a nice job creating lanes for them to go.
So Hinkie set to kick off. Bishop and Campbell back to receive, and a good boot into the end zone. We'll take it at the 25. Will the Eagles?
Yeah, I think that's Ian Burr that's kicking it.
Yeah, what did I say?
Hinkie? I don't know where that's coming from.
That's Independence's place kicker. I'm sorry.
Hey,
sorry about that, Ian
either
Burr.
Way, Hinkie all of a sudden got a little more lively leg over there.
Well, hey, both kickers on both sides getting some looks, and I think, if this does decide to be a competitive game, a close game, special teams is going to be a big part of it.
Yeah.
And so far, we'll see what happens. But on offense, quick pass to the left. Looks like that was number 11, Bingham Morrisol. Big catch there on the left side again.
I think that was he was trying to fake it and send it deep, and they cut it short.
But like we said, he made the read. He saw the read.
There it is.
And the Bishop on the sideline drifts just a bit. Jet Wilson telling Mr. Bishop to come on back to the line. Let's run it back. Great looking arm. Like we said, live arm by Ethan Cash. Just a little bit to the outside. But Jet Wilson, he is showing up for the task of putting a body on Chase Bishop. So, second down. Looks to be 10. Cash rolling to the right. Chase finds a man. Great coverage. I think that was Who's out on the covers there? Number 36 for the Rebels, Matthew Peak.
Well, this is the first time I think we've seen an Indy 3rd and long series.
Especially that wasn't inhibited by a flag.
No, absolutely not.
You know, with how hard Campbell was blanketed on that play, that was a good-looking ball by Ethan Cash, putting it only where his receiver could catch it. But he faces a third down, finds his receiver, met immediately once he catches the ball. He is for sure short of the 40-yard line, short of the first down, and the Eagles will be punting the ball tonight.
I gotta give the Rebels credit right there. The Eagles receivers usually want to try to run to the sticks right there on that comeback, but definitely short and punting down for the Independence Eagles.
There's a little bit of a push up front by the Rebels too, possibly causing Cash to get rid of it a little quicker, as Cooper Allen, on for the punt. Fair catch taken at the 25-yard line. And that is where the Rebels will take over possession. Let's see if we can hear a time by Mr. Play Announcer here. I believe it was 3:52 or 2:52 left once the Eagles had the ball there on that drive.
Okay. Minute 49. There we go. 1:49. So
Guy Lipscomb to the hip, to the right of Nichols. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. The Rebels take the snap. Lipscomb, here he is, gets the ball with some space. Left side, looking for a block. Shows off the wheels. And almost had his chance as he was forced out of bounds, almost to midfield at around the 46-yard line. Great first play by the Rebels.
Man, Guy Lipscomb showing out for the Franklin Rebels. You see it right here. Little room here, nobody within 10, 15 yards right there, and
great play call.
Just steps out of bounds.
Senior trying to lead his team, knowing how important this situation is. First down, Nichols rolling right, finds his man. First down again, Carson repass over the middle. Great piece of throwing catching there by the Rebels.
Nice roll. Nichols to his throwing hand side and catch and throw. Rebels first down.
Looks like Nichols is getting into his groove. 6'3", 175 senior. As we have a whistle on the play.
Maybe the quarter? No?
I think they said just under a minute 30. So clock is running wherever it may be starting from. First down and 10. Ball on the Eagle 36-yard line. Passes left to Lipscomb, getting some space. There he goes once again. Inside the 30 to the 33-yard line. First down once again for the Rebels.
Man, Guy Lipscomb, open space. You got to like your chances, and Coach Webb and the offensive staff have done a tremendous job giving those opportunities to Guy Lipscomb.
Well, if you're the Independence defense, is there a way to stop him? Is there a way to kind of pinpoint and neutralize?
Absolutely. I think you got to have a spy on number 2.
Well, let's see if the Eagles do that, as they have 4 down linemen and they rush 6. Nichols feels it, runs out to the right. Good solid chunk on first down. Pick up about 6, maybe 7. And Josh Nichols showing off his legs.
Yeah, Nichols, very athletic young man. He's done this a while, so he knows how to do it.
So we saw Independence have 4 down linemen and send 6 on that play, as Franklin spreads it out to the left. And is that our quarter?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Sure is. So, Paul Breece, end of 1. We've had a back and forth matchup. 1 turnover kind of being the bugaboo for the Eagles. But at the end of 1 here at Independence High School, It is tied 7-7 as both teams will regroup as we flip the field.
Well, if you watch Independence first or second offensive series, you think, man, this is going to be a tough night for the Rebels. But the Rebels answer with a Guy Lipscomb.
Absolutely. Guy Lipscomb, after their first offensive possession, kind of showing his leadership in the huddle, letting them know, hey, give me the ball. Let me eat. We can do it. And now as far as the Independence goes, I felt like their first drive was headed to the end zone no matter what.
Right.
It was just, that kind of an interesting decision throwing by Cash there, maybe trying to do a little too much. But nonetheless, we're able to score again on their next drive, as well as the Rebels. But after that, 3 and out by the Eagles, and that was forced by the Rebels. And here we are with that next possession that their defense did answer. So they answered our question. Let's see if the offense can continue moving that ball, as from the 21-yard line, it'll be second down, and we'll say around 3. So second down and 4, exact. Receivers to the left. Pistol formation for the Rebels. Independence plugs up the hole by the linebacker there, and that was looks like 46. Nope, 42.
42.
Zach Smith able to plug up that
John
hole.
Kirkpatrick.
I know the wrong one.
So Kirkpatrick, he's also a main player on the defensive side of the Rebels, now moving to the offensive side to try to help the Rebels offense get some momentum.
I see the confusion there. 42 ran the ball and 42 tackled the ball. So we were talking about the same play, just 2 different players. As Kirkpatrick there punching it up the middle, looks like he made it to the 15-yard line and will move the change for a Rebels first down.
You bring Kirkpatrick, the big fella, 6'1", 225, D lineman, D end linebacker. Now you bring in.
Hey, like you said, whatever works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever works, just to show.
Thunder and lightning.
Yeah, there you go. Just showing different looks for the Eagles as first down and goal.
Wow. God, Lipscomb. Leaning for 9. Oh, they made.
I think he might have made it to the first down, and I apologize. It was at the 15. Looks like they're marking it down at the 10.
They're going to give it to him.
So great looking, strong, fast run by Guy Lipscomb on that off the left tackle. And now it will be first and goal for Franklin.
Absolutely. You got 4 shots at it. If I'm Donnie Webb, you got 4 shots at this. I'm thinking number 9 or number 2. I would be shocked if he tried to pass this ball.
Well, as Nichols trying to keep it himself, showing maybe like an option to the read option with Lipscomb, decided to keep it himself. The Eagles sniffed it out perfectly.
Yeah, I think they may have an idea of what's going on.
Well, you would think. I mean, my first decision right there with you would be give it to number 2, but as we see Lipscomb going off the field to catch a breather, kind of shaken up a little bit after that play. So second down and goal.
Yeah, he has done a lot for 1 quarter of play.
Absolutely. He's kept the Rebels in the game as his counterpart, his sidekick, number 42, Kirkpatrick, back in the game at tailback.
Officials timeout. We had maybe some equipment malfunction for Indy. The Indy defensive coaches need a stand here. Second from the 3?
Yeah, it's the 3-yard line, and you're showing a pistol formation wide to the right, trips. I think you go down the middle again. Independence stuffed it out. So 0 for 2. I think Kirkpatrick was able to gain another yard. Looks like they're going to have it down, maybe 2, down at the 1-yard line, 3rd and goal.
Well, this may be an opportunity to maybe fake to Kirkpatrick, and Nichols carried himself.
Say either that or you have repass here as your inside slot receiver to the right. Maybe see him do a little bit of a hitch and out route. We'll see as they go up the middle. Independence caught over selling for the run on the left side, and Kirkpatrick in for the score. And with that extra point, that will put the Rebels up potentially by 7 here early in the second quarter. Huge drive by the Rebels.
Yeah, absolutely. Back-breaking drive for Independence. They feel like they can't stop the Rebels. And, if you watched any of the film from the Summit game, you're thinking, man.
It's 2 totally different teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ian Burr, number 16 for the Franklin Rebels with the extra point kick.
There it is.
14-7 Rebels as we see once again.
Great push, 74 right there, Anderson. 73 is or Mason Jones. Fisher Anderson, 74. Either way, the big guys up front getting it done. Rebels lead, 14-7.
So we see the Franklin side standing up, eyes open, paying attention to this game. The whiteout home side of Independence kind of a little bit confused possibly as the defense of Independence unable to keep the Rebels out of the end zone, and strong drive, strong play calling, and gutsy play calling by the Rebels to take the lead. So now it will be up to Ethan Cash and the Eagles offense to see how they are going to answer. Ian Burr set to kick. Campbell and Bishop to receive for the Eagles. High end over ender. Bishop will catch it 5 yards deep into the end zone. So Independence will take it to the 20 and set up shop. I think this, Paul, if you're the Eagles, this should be a drive that you want another long drive.
Yeah,
take some time off the clock.
Absolutely.
Wear down that defense.
100%. I see the defensive coordinator for Independence gathering the troops on the sideline right here, just doing what he can to get these troops back defensively for Indy, because they're having a difficult time against the Rebels.
Need to let them know that they're here to play too. First down, give up the middle to Phillips, and strong first down gain. Maybe see the Eagles go to their run game, the RPO options a little bit more here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have seen Cash, the quarterback, have success with the run. So you talked about RPO. I think he's got both capabilities for sure.
So second and short. Cash to the right, gets his receiver. Calvin Wilson there on the hitch route. Cash able to put it on the numbers for a strike, and that'll move the chains for the Eagles. So no huddle once again. Ethan Cash has 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. And Kobe Creed on his right hip. Franklin jumps a little bit. Independence stayed still. No flags on the play.
Wow.
Cash decided to keep it, maybe hoping for a flag, but I think the lineman was able to get back on sides. Nonetheless, solid gain, able to get positive yardage there for Cash.
Well, I don't think we've seen a negative play by Cash other than the interception.
Was he not sacked earlier?
You're exactly right.
Got his jersey dirty, remember? Yeah. Second down and about 5. Cash under pressure.
Yeah, that's Elijah Johnson, the guy we just mentioned on the sack from a series ago, bringing the pressure again from the corner spot.
Tell you what, Elijah Johnson, he must have a speaker up here for us. He is coming alive as Ethan Cash unable to find his receiver under that pressure. So we have third down. I believe it to be around 6 for the Eagles. Phillips in motion. Cash finds Jackson Campbell, able to sit right underneath that zone as the cushion was given by the Rebels. And good throw, good catch. First down, Eagles. So we have 7:55 left to go here in the first half. Clock running. First down and 10 from the 46. Cash looking over the middle, finds Bishop. Up and catches it. Ball rolling, change rolling. First down once again. Ethan Cash starting to get back in his groove a little bit, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick 2-step, 3-step drop, and it's pitch and catch for Cash and Bishop.
You wonder when the corners of the Rebels may start playing a little bit in. I know they're afraid of, granted.
The deep ball,
The deep balls, Bishop and, Wilson there on the outside and their speed. But good play calling by Coach Blade, getting those receivers on the inside of that zone. So first down here, Cash is flushed out of that pocket, and there's your man, Kirkpatrick, number 42 for the Rebels, in for the sack. Huge play.
Full-time defensive end, part-time running back.
Hey, at least they are tonight at Independence, because Donnie Webb over there on that sideline is not holding anything back, showing a bunch of different looks. And the senior linebacker, Kirkpatrick, helping his fellows out.
And Franklin and Donnie Webb at the coaches show on WCTV mentioned only four teams go to the playoffs, so he definitely knows his math, and he needs this game.
And it looks like he's gotten his players to buy in as well. If not before the game, they definitely have now. Cash showing off the arm, rolling out to the right. Great defense by number 11 by the Rebels, Cooper Grills, as Ethan Cash had his man Wilson in single coverage.
That is a big-time throw by Cash.
On the run.
On the run, off one foot. That is right on the money.
I think that great defense there.
Absolutely. As much as you're as impressed with, and I'm impressed with the throw, the defense there by Grills was solid. Yeah,
no question about it. That was a big league throw by Cash. But third down here, huge hit. And look who it is. Guy Lipscomb making the big hit there on Pierce. So, Paul, that's going to bring up fourth down, and it does not look like Ethan Cash is coming off the field.
Absolutely
You seem to not be surprised.
I do not. Scott Blade is I would say 75% of the time on his side of the field, he's going for it.
So we have a big set look for the Eagles.
Well, there's an automatic first down.
There's that jump. And as my partner Paul Breece just mentioned, going to be encroachment, neutral zone infraction, what have you. And that'll give an extra 5 yards for free for the Eagles. And inside the 30-yard line, they will be starting over for a first down.
I know that when Donnie Webb shows the film of Independence, the first thing he probably tells them as a defensive coach is, hey, the offensive line are going to set up, and they're going to go down in a 3-point stance. Do not jump.
It's that old classic down set hut. I always think of The Little Giants, the movie from back in the day. That's how they ran their plays as well. Here we are, Ethan Cash, tons of time.
And tons of room.
Like we said before, he sees that open field and has good vision to do it himself, gets positive yards, about 17 yards make it. Excuse me, not 17 yards, more like 12 yards.
Yeah.
But that will move.
He ran about 17.
Exactly.
Sideline warning on Franklin, the coaching staff over there. The get-back coach is not doing his job tonight.
Yeah, a lot of frustration.
Yeah, you had him in a third down or fourth and short, and you gave him the first down on a penalty.
It almost looked like a cover spy missed his assignment on that play. Nonetheless, ball on the 15-yard line. Eagles moving quickly. First down. Cash once again with the quarterback keeper. Looks like he pushes his way almost to the 10-yard line.
Well, the one thing I've noticed tonight is when Independence is running the ball, they are falling forward when they are being tackled.
Every time. And we're talking about their quarterback here as well.
100%.
So a little bit of deceleration by the Eagles as they are letting the time run. I would have to say probably inside 5 minutes here in the first half. So second down. Pump fake, corner of the end zone, overthrows Bishop, and that had makings of a beautiful play. We see what they were trying to do there. But that will bring up third down and close to 5.
Yeah, they can still
first
grab
down
a first down. Yeah,
That's
for
right.
sure.
So after that play, the clock is stopped. Third down and 5. 4:19 left to go here in the first half. Thank you, Mr. Play Announcer. Cash going to keep it himself once again. Tripped up in the backfield by once again senior Kirkpatrick, number 44, making the shoestring tackle. Huge defensive play. Cash able to make it back to the line of scrimmage, but that will once again, Paul Breece, bring up a fourth down.
Yeah, absolutely. Kirkpatrick coming off the edge right here, off the DN, and all it takes.
See how patient he was right there?
Yeah.
That was a great play. It was untouched. So, big play as Reed Kemp and the secondary of the Rebels tried to get themselves together. Give us to Bishop. Bishop going the wrong way and unable to make anything happen. Loses 5 yards back to the 15. And there is our answer, Paul Breece. The Rebels were able to come up big on defense, and Ethan Cash will be going over to the sidelines. Going to have to dig deep and figure something out as the Rebels back in business on their own 15-yard line with the ball inside within, I think that was 3:34 left. Plenty of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hard without a scoreboard.
Absolutely. Going to be interesting to see if, the Rebels here will get the second half ball first. So, do they run it out here, or do they?
I see zero reason to change any type of game plan, play calling scheme. I think you keep the ball right here with this man. As long as he gets 3, 4, 5 yards like that each time, that opens up a little bit of play action and, the different looks with Kirkpatrick, and keeping the clock rolling, And I think they have all timeouts, if not 2. So you got plenty of time with the clock in your favor to at least get some momentum with some points going into halftime and keeping the ball away from the Eagles.
Repass, the receiver only seems to be the only threat catching the ball.
And another run to the left. Lipscomb, once again, the Eagles able to penetrate that front push by the Rebels, and gain of 1. Looks like it's going to bring up 3rd and 3. 2:50 and running is the clock that we see there. You might not believe me, but I promise you the clock is running. 3rd and short for the Rebels. Big play for the Independents.
Yeah, absolutely. And because Indy has the capability, if they could stop them right here with their 3 timeouts left, they could make something happen offensively.
As they keep it simple. Lipscomb trying to jump over the pile, lands a little awkwardly on his head. And I don't know if he was tripped and trying to avoid a tackle or actually hurdled, but he was upended and looks like he is going to be a football length short. As you see here, he's trying to avoid a tackle there, and hope he's okay with that little bit of sketchy landing there. But 4th down, and we'll call it, like I said, a football length.
Yeah, and I'm shocked that Coach Scott Blade has not called timeout. As I would assume Franklin's going to run this down, and then they would call a timeout on the punt.
As they let the play clock run out, call a timeout.
Yep.
Yeah, that is odd. I'm not sure. Obviously there is some type of strategy there. Obviously that's why we're up here, or I am at least. But you have a high octane offense that can get it done in 2 to 3 plays with the whole entire football field in front of you. So we'll see what they decide to do. But once again, we are broadcasting live WCTV Net on Facebook and YouTube. Paul Breece and Parker Hazard giving you play-by-play coverage of this week's WCTV Game of the Week. And it is homecoming here at Independence. So homecoming festivities and accolades will be given out here during our halftime show. Fun stuff, Paul Breece.
Oh, man. If you're a parent, you're excited.
Sure.
If you're the referee, you'd like to get it over with.
That's right. Well, here we are, 4th down and short. Pistol formation.
There's no way they snap this ball.
Well, let's see, Paul Breece. Hard count started. And continues.
Yeah, I mean,
you were right. The typical play there, trying to make the other team jump off sides, but
when you have a kicker like Ian Burr, a punter that can change the field for you, I mean, just go ahead and let it go. I mean, the clock wasn't running.
Right, exactly.
Their offensive linemen did no kind of movement. They did not motion anybody other than a hard count. That was basically it. But I guess if you're Franklin, you had to give it a shot.
No worries. Like you said, Ian Burr showed off that live leg of his there pregame. And, yeah, I almost hope they actually do run the punt play just so we can see that leg shown off. So that would be the second time out by the Rebels. And they will bring out the punting unit as Ian Burr will punt the ball away from around his own 10-yard line. And that is Jackson Campbell back to receive the punt. Burr with a wobbly spiral. Conservative bounce and will be picked up inside the 40-yard line around the 38 of the Eagles, and that is where Ethan Cash will take over with 1:16 left to go here in the first half. Eagles trail 14-7.
And you know what? What I just thought about is when you mentioned the homecoming thing, that's a football coach's worst nightmare is homecoming.
Longer halftime.
And that and just all the stuff that happens during the day, the pep rally, all the commotion during the week.
Easy to get confused, I believe, is what you're saying there.
I'm just saying that maybe their focus has not happened yet, and Scott Blade will take them into halftime and get them refocused.
Well, that, and I'll tell you one thing, Franklin is helping them get focused. As a quick pass up the middle to Campbell. That'll get him about 7. Quick timeout made by Coach Blade and the Eagles. But yeah, like you said, there's plenty of possibilities. You can definitely see a little bit of a flat tire aspect of Independence's offense. And like I said, I think Franklin's doing their part and letting them know that, hey, we're here to play, and we're not going to give it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think on paper, okay, you see Independence, they just put a whooping on Blackman last week, and Franklin laid an egg against Summit. I mean, they walk in.
The last 2 weeks, Independence put up 45-plus points.
So teams going in opposite directions, and here comes homecoming week, and I've been there as a coach. You just like,
britches get a little bit bigger too when that happens as well,
absolutely.
Right?
But there's one thing I have noticed, that Independence does not look like they're in panic mode at all, and that just shows a team that has been there before. Right,
and got a good group of senior leadership as well. So Cash with some time floats it over the middle, almost gets his intended receiver on the play, just overthrows Brian Pierce.
But Cash waited on him to get Pierce behind. I believe they had
just a tad bit more touch maybe on that ball. Has a live arm, still working on putting the touch on the ball and a little bit of air that Coach Blade was talking about. But no doubt he has faith in his quarterback.
Absolutely. This is third down right here, though.
Yes, sir. 3rd and 3, we'll call it. So clock is stopped.
Ooh.
So Cash with the high snap, rolling to the left, finding Jackson Campbell at the 45-yard line. So clock will stop momentarily as the chains move. Eagles looking to grow quick. You would think they had about 3 or 4 plays lined up and ready to go out of that timeout.
Absolutely.
Paul Breece, they call their second timeout.
Well, while we're waiting, I'll give you a score update. Ravenwood 7, Brentwood 3.
Have we made it to the half yet?
It's about 4 minutes remaining. So a team of Ravenwood who scored 61 last week.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't even know what to say about that. Obviously, Brentwood's going to come to play. I mean, Battle of the Woods, that is what it is. But like I mentioned earlier, that's a possible trap game there for Ravenwood with all possible distractions, as we were just mentioning earlier. But, no, Battle of the Woods, that's no other anticipation or atmosphere about it that you can meet there.
Well, I know we are, YouTube Live, Facebook streaming?
We are on YouTube, WCTV Net, and also on Facebook live streaming. And we also are on local cable providers as well on different channels.
Word on the street is we have about 50 people watching. So,
hey,
there we go. We'll take it.
Sounds good to me. Absolutely. First down. Cash drops back to pass. Over the middle.
Lipscomb picked.
Pierce stumbled on the play. Looks like his feet got caught up with one of the defenders, and Lipscomb was there able to just catch it right in the breadbasket. We have some unhappy fans on the home side of Independence. Paul, I think that was an incidental tangle-up and good no call by the refs.
Yeah. I mean, after watching the NFL game last night with seemed like 20 calls, to come here and let them play football, this is fantastic.
Well, a fun fact about that crew, they averaged the most holding calls and the most roughing the passer calls in 2018, and they had 7 in the first quarter of that game.
That's unbelievable.
Even Tom Brady sent in a tweet during the game saying he was going to turn it off because of it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we're here at Williamson County High School football, and the Rebels take over once again. Another interception by Ethan Cash as they hand the ball off to the right to Grayson Bruce, and I think, Paul, they're going to look to just run that clock out with that 7-point momentum in the locker room.
Absolutely. Guy Lipscomb off the interception. He ran off the field. And
hey, you've done enough. You've done enough, kiddo. Yeah, take you a breath. It was a heck of a first half there by Guy Lipscomb and by this Rebels team. I guarantee you it's going to be a long 25 minutes in that locker room of players looking at themselves in the mirror if you're Independence.
Well, that's it. Halftime.
So, all right. As my partner Paul Breece mentioned, with our lack of scoreboard, no worry. We are getting you covered as we are 14-7. Franklin leads Independence into the first half here at Independence High School. Parker Hazard and Paul Breece, we will be right back after halftime for second half action. And welcome back to Independence High School. The stage is set for the second half as Independence trailing Franklin 14-7. As we get this second half started, Paul Breece, what do we think about the first half? Independence down 14-7.
Yeah, absolutely. Homecoming week, and we have a ball game. Glad you're joining us on our YouTube stream.
So Sam Hinkie set to kick it off for the Eagles. Little squibber. And fielded shortly at the 30. And that's Mitch Lanick taking the ball out past the 35-yard line, make it the 37, 38. And that is where the Rebels will start. Momentum into the locker room, up 14-7 with new quarterback Josh Nichols in, and Guy Lipscomb, former receiver, running back, former quarterback, and now back to running back, and he is showing out tonight for the Rebels.
Don't forget safety, too, interception.
See, it's just too much for me to keep up with. So here we are, 1st and 10, ball on the 38-yard line. Josh Nichols, empty backfield. Receivers 3 to his right, 2 to his left. And he's going to keep it himself. An interesting play call there, first play.
Yeah, absolutely. I spread him out. Nichols, a big guy, coming through here, leaning forward. Going to pick up about 7.
Yeah, 6'3", 175, pushing 180. Yeah, not a small guy at all. And solid 6-yard gain. Make it 7 as 2nd and 3. Once again, the Rebels showing an empty backfield. Nichols fakes it to the right, takes it once again up the middle, hit hard as he crosses the 50. Looks like that was Brady Jenkins there, meeting Nichols there at the 45-yard line. Nonetheless, moving the chains for the Rebels.
Yeah, total design run right there, Nichols. And he's a gamer. So he's going to come to finish this thing off.
So once again, 3rd play in a row. Nichols by himself fakes the throw, and the Eagles will have nothing to do with that play there. Looks like big number 50 there for the Independence Eagles. First one to meet him, and I don't think that's the right number. Hopefully we can get a replay on this number.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We talked about going to the well too much. Maybe they did right there. As Nichols, you bottled up.
So here we see more of a familiar formation by the Rebels. 2nd down and 10. Nichols gives it to Lipscomb to the right. Trying to find space, gets across the line of scrimmage, able to get about 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was sort of the similar or successful plays that they had in the first half, where they just gave it to Lipscomb on the sweep right there, and he just tried to hit the edge and got around, and positive yardage nonetheless.
Well, it looks like the defensive changes by the Eagles are paying off, putting a little bit more guys in the box, kind of stuffing up the running lane for Lipscomb. As 3rd down for the Rebels. Rolling to the left is Nichols, and he found his man, number 3, Carson Repass unable to secure the football. Good defense there by Independence, sticking with the ball. The ball is incomplete. Decision time here for Coach Donnie Webb and the Rebels.
14-7, your defense is playing pretty well. They've escaped with some fortunate, but you see Nichols right on the money. Repass just couldn't reel it in. A nice play by 19 right there for Independence. That's going to be Chase Harmon.
Yeah, great play by the junior defensive back.
And you got Ian Burr right here, your punter, and he's going to be able to flop the field. Little knuckleball.
Burr with an end-over-ender. Pierce. Calvin Wilson there for the Eagles. Fair caught at the 10.
Yeah, I mean, this exactly what Donnie Webb wants. I mean, he's got this defense out there.
And that's a solid drive. 9:16 left in the 3rd quarter. Got some good time left, run off the clock. Positive gains. Just, great first defensive possession of the Eagles. And I think you look to see the Eagles score quick, fast, and with authority here to show that they're still in it and to see if their adjustments at the halftime worked. So Cash swings it to the right to Campbell. Campbell getting some space, dragging defenders, and unable to make it to midfield. But like I said, look for the Eagles to come out heavy, come out fast, and to raise eyebrows. Great run by Jackson Campbell.
Yeah.
Take us through the replay, Paul.
You see right here, I mean, it's open space, missed tackles. Campbell, I mean, he just does it himself.
I mean, right there, he just made 5 Rebels defenders just stop in their tracks, and they didn't even know what they were doing. Huge play. And once again, Ethan Cash didn't have the ball over a second and a half.
Yeah, just quick throws, 1-2, step throw. He's going long.
He had the time, and once again, trying to fit that ball in a window that is just not there over the middle. And luckily, that ball was incomplete.
Tremendous, though. I mean, capability just to even try to attempt that throw. But, yeah, you're right. I think he had other options out there.
Well, his offensive line was giving him the time.
Oh, absolutely.
And he took it. And, first down after that long play from your own 10-yard line, not a bad decision to take a shot. So see if they maybe go to a more of a shorter pass here as they screen it.
Yeah.
Phillips, blockers in front of him. Swinging it all the way to the left side as he crosses midfield and dragging defenders as he crosses the 40. Jack Phillips, huge run after the screen catch, and we have an Eagle injured on the field. But as Miss Brandy and the training staff of the Eagles look to the injured Eagle, I'd like to see a replay on that screen. What a well-designed play. Good time to call it.
Yeah, absolutely. They had gone deep to play before. We talked about the shorter, quicker routes that have been successful for the Eagles and Ethan Cash, and we had the screen play set up, and it looks like, is that number 11?
Injured Eagle player number 11, Brigham Moracle.
Yeah, Brigham Moracle.
Safety there, the junior. Able to walk off on his own power. Good to see if you are Independence. Even better to see where the football is on the field as the Eagles are marching. Little breather for both sides. Ethan Cash and company onto the field. The Rebels defense needing a big stop here after a couple big plays by the Eagles offense out of the locker room.
Absolutely.
So we have 1st and 10, ball on the 39-yard line of the Rebels. Ethan Cash in the shotgun takes the snap. Gives it to his running back up the gut, I believe. That looks to be number 7.
Yep.
Creedon Williams, first time calling his name tonight. So solid 3-yard gain, kind of keeping the Rebels defense true. And another tailback into the game to the left of Ethan Cash, number 18, Kobe Creed.
Yeah, he's a pretty downhill runner.
Big guy, too.
Yeah.
And speaking of downhill, was that Ethan Cash?
Absolutely, the keeper.
We heard that smack from up here. Ethan Cash not afraid to take a hit. Going to be close to the first down. Looks like maybe a yard short, Paul, but what a play.
Yeah, you see it right here. I mean, Cash just says, nope, don't need it. Here I come. And a direct hit. 57, I think.
Couldn't
Maybe
catch
Journey Keene.
3rd and 1, ball on the 30-yard line. Swing pass to the left. Finds his man, Brian Pierce, on the left side. Trying to weasel his way and find the end zone. Good defense by the Rebels secondary to keep him at the 15-yard line or thereabouts, and that is where the Eagles will start from inside the red zone.
Yeah, and this is a opportunity that the Franklin Rebels did not want to see, was being backed up, and I mean, they're just not being able to stop him at all.
Yeah, that 6:40 left to go here in this third quarter. Ethan Cash going deep, looking for Calvin Wilson, unable to find him there on that wheel route. But yeah, like I said, after that first half, if you're the Eagles and get a good stop on that first defensive possession, which they did, backs against their wall on their own 10-yard line, look for Scott Blade and that high-octane offense to come out and with authority and big plays, and that's what we've seen.
Yeah, and if you're the Franklin Rebels defense, you just have to tackle in open space. Every time the Eagles have avoided a tackle or two, they've hit a big play.
And you got to keep your eyes on that man number 10 as a little bit of a fake draw. Great defensive stop. There's our man, 42.
Kirkpatrick on the play.
Yeah, John Kirkpatrick making his name known. Trying to do a little bit of little bubble draw. And Jack Phillips unable to find any room. So the ball's going to be at the 17.
3rd and 10.
Yeah, it looks like they need to get the ball to the 7-yard line. Cash, screen to Phillips once again. A lot of room.
Daylight, got to make a tackle. That's going to be a first down, Parker.
Well defended by the Rebels, but even better. Listen to my English. Better blocking by the Eagles there on the outside to give Phillips some space, and
that's twice they've run that screen this series, so nothing new for Phillips.
If the read presents itself from the Rebels defense, why not go for it?
Absolutely.
So interesting to see what they're going to do here on the 5-yard line. Bunch formation to the right. We have one receiver wide to the left. 1st and goal. Cash. QB keeper. Trying to wait for a block to open up. Unable to. Might have made it to the 4-yard line.
Total quarterback keep right there. Quarterback run.
And I think that's what they're going to. We've seen it all season where he has the ability to run. They're going to rely on that too. I think especially in this game where the sense of urgency of needing to score is very apparent. So 2nd down and goal. Ball looks to be on the 3-yard line. Independence spreads it out. Campbell's in motion. Cash looks, doesn't see anybody. Great job by Ethan Cash, able to elude a sack, makes it to the line of scrimmage, and possibly looks like he made it to around the 1-yard line.
Yeah, absolutely. Clay Crowder, 71 for Franklin, had a jersey. You'll see it right here. He's going to grab it.
Crowder's been getting in there too.
Yeah, grab it, hanging on, slows him down, and 57, Journey Keene to finish it up.
So 3rd down and goal. 1 yard to reach pay dirt. Ethan Cash in the shotgun. Gets it, keeps it. And this time he will not be denied. Touchdown, Ethan Cash and the Eagles. Extra point away from tying this game up. 3 design run plays in the red zone. Ethan Cash was not going to be denied, Paul Breece.
Well, it's not quite as hot as it has been the last 3 or 4 Friday nights, but
thankfully.
Yeah, absolutely. Cash looks exhausted after that series.
Well, that was probably about 6 or 7 quarterback keepers that entire series.
Now, that's a pretty important extra point. Franklin seemed to get a pretty good push the last time. Independence, I mean, it didn't look pretty. It got through, but this one is going to be huge.
Sam Hinkie.
Yeah, that's a better snap.
Better snap, better hold, and better kick. So with that extra point, Paul Breece, we have a football game.
Here it is. Cash on the keeper. No doubt about it. Numbers called, plenty of blockers, and he's going to try to take on number 10 right there, Elijah Johnson, who's had a pretty good game, but Johnson just didn't want any part of that.
Yeah, no room. Goal line at your back. There's no way of stopping that play. That was 4-down territory regardless, and I think Ethan Cash was going to be the ball carrier all 4 plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going to be the one to get the touchdown.
We talked about Franklin getting off to they had, you remember, the Independence drive started at the 10-yard line.
Exactly.
So they went 90 yards. I mean, and it just seems like a deflated defensive unit for Franklin that they just could not find a way to stop them.
Well, no, and like I say, Independence has the capability of scoring at any time, at any point on the field. And like you said, I think with those big plays and the hurry-up offense, that also takes time to get their play calls from the sidelines. That also kind of hinders the defense from making adjustments and personnel changes. So I think that's what we saw, like you said, on that drive for the Rebels defense. So let's see if the offense of Franklin can give their defense some breathing time as the Rebels receive it, unable to make it to the 25-yard line. Call it the 24.
Yep. And that was Guy Lipscomb as the returner.
Guy Lipscomb as he
Uh-oh.
labors a hamstring a little bit.
Yeah.
So that is where the Rebels will start.
This cannot be a 3-and-out series, offensive series for the Rebels, because Big Mo is on Independence side right now.
Yeah, 100%, and this is where you test the grit and see if the guys are bought in on the offensive side.
Oh, wide open.
And right there, Josh Nichols is going to be beating himself over that one as he had a wide open receiver, Christian Clementi, right in the heart of that zone, and he had nothing but green grass in front of him. Got a little bit excited, did Nichols.
Yeah.
But I mean, he hasn't seen a receiver that open tonight.
No, absolutely not. I mean, felt pretty good about it and one-hopped it. And
so what do you think you got? What do you think we got here with the?
You hate to be in second and long, but Guy Lipscomb could be your option here.
And there he goes.
Speed sweep.
Able to make it close to the 30-yard line. I think that's where they're going to call him.
Halfway there, so 3rd and 4.5, 5.
I was thinking maybe with the empty backfield, they possibly were going with Nichols again, but definitely wouldn't steer away from that idea here on 3rd and 5. Call it a long 4. Clock is running. We are under halfway through this third quarter. Nichols gives the ball. Going right is Lipscomb. He finds some space, able to work it across the 35-yard line, making it to around the 36, 37, and giving the Rebels a first down.
Guy's a workhorse.
Not steering away from that game plan, are they?
I would not either. And that is huge. They got the first down. They steered clear of the 3-and-out. And Franklin here to continue moving the clock, shortening the game, and keeping Independence offense off the field.
And with this running game, that does open up passing options that Independence will leave open, as we saw on that errant pass by Nichols earlier. So with a loss of yards there on that run play.
Yeah, God Lipscomb looks totally uncomfortable running between the tackles when it's just a straight handoff. It seems like he's more of a let me get a head start and get it and go kind of running back, or just runner. I mean, as his first appearance at running back, obviously, this season.
I feel like 2nd and 11 here, maybe open it up with the play action. As we see, we have one safety deep for the Eagles. So Nichols is rolling right. He's going to decide to keep it. Got some blocks upfield, able to cross the 45, might be a yard short, but great second and long play and good production by the legs of Josh Nichols.
Yeah, that was a huge carry by Nichols to avoid a 3rd and 10. Now they make it a 3rd and 2. As here comes the Kirkpatrick.
Your boy, Big Kirkpatrick.
Big Kirkpatrick's gonna maybe try to bowl this over and get 3 in a cloud of dust, right?
You would think, or maybe even have him bust past Nichols and be a lead blocker for a quarterback keeper.
Absolutely. That's a great call as well.
With the 3 receivers bunched to the right, stacked up, we'll see what they do. Kirkpatrick up the middle. Burst of speed and power. Twists and turns his way, crosses midfield up to the 43-yard line of Independence. And now we see the chains rolling and the ball moving for the Rebels as we approach 2 minutes left to go in this quarter.
Needed 2 in a cloud of dust. Kirkpatrick gets about 10. And it was wide open. Great job by the guys up front finishing it off. It's Kirkpatrick and the tackler 27 right there, Tommy Monahan.
So 1st and 10. Nichols going to take a shot deep. Dangerous throw And luckily, an interception was dropped. I think he might have led
Mitch Lanik, 22.
Yeah, might have led Lanik a little bit too much on that throw. But Nichols showing that he does have that asset as well.
Well, I think they had to show it once just to keep the defense honest.
100%.
I would be shocked if they went back to it too many times. Right here with Grayson Bruce in the backfield.
I was just going to say we have Lipscomb on the sidelines taking a breath.
Yeah, and Kirkpatrick as well. So maybe Bruce is more of the receiving guy. He's going to keep it.
Going to keep it going on the outside. Independent showed pressure up the middle, but he has met in the backfield and denied any extra yards. Great penetration up front by the Eagles and sniffed out that run play, forcing the Rebels into a 3rd and long situation.
Yeah, that 1st and 10, that deep ball, once it becomes not complete, and then you take a 2nd and 10, and you take your best offensive weapon off the field, it leaves you in a vulnerable spot. Now it's 3rd and, 14?
Yeah, and it doesn't really give the defense a lot to guess about either.
No, absolutely not.
So Guy Lipscomb back on the field. He will be a part of a 4, make that 3 wide receivers to the left side as Christian Clemente goes to the right. 3rd down and long. Nichols by himself in the backfield, looks left, rolls left, feeling the pressure, takes it himself. He makes a man miss, crosses the 25-yard line out at the 24. What an improvisational play and gutsy play by Josh Nichols, keeping the drive alive for the Rebels.
Well, if I was in the mind of Josh Nichols, I would think, okay, if it's not there immediately, I'm going to tuck and run. And he looked up, and the parting of the Red Sea happened because Josh Nichols had 20 yards right here.
And it looks
1,
like
2, 3, look. Guy Lipscomb, not open. Nope. I'll just take it myself. Not only that, Guy Lipscomb's going to get a block here, right there, just to give him a few more yards.
Well, speaking of Mr. Lipscomb, he is stopped after a solid or a positive 2-yard gain. But yeah, on that last run by Nichols, Paul, it looks like he did a good job reading that the defense was in man, gave his receivers a second to go through their route progressions, and once he felt that pressure, was able to run for days, as we saw there. So looks to be the end of the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. That went
So
quick.
Paul, that did go quick. I think both teams running the ball well, both teams keeping the clock moving, and both teams giving us a football game.
Yeah. So, what do you got? 14-14, right?
We have a 14-14 football game here in Region 6A. Independence and Franklin knotted at 14.
Well, the other big game is down a little ways in Brentwood as the Battle of the Woods goes on. Right before half, it was Ravenwood 7-6. Brentwood came down, kicked a 44-yarder as time expired, took a 9-7 halftime lead.
Okay.
And Ravenwood answers here in the second half with a 47-yard touchdown pass. 14-9, Ravenwood.
Seems to be an eventful game as well there in Brentwood. And I'm sure there are eyes at this stadium and that stadium as well on each of these 2 games.
Yeah.
Both very important.
I mean, we have a big crowd here, no doubt. Michael Williams, our inside reporter, our other WCTV
Is he your on-field reporter?
He is. He basically said, man, it seems like there's 5,000 people here. So I can see.
And where's the game?
It's at Brentwood High.
Brentwood.
Yeah, so.
Always a good turnout there on Granny White.
Wow.
So the Rebels will take the ball. 2nd down from the Eagle 19-yard line.
There's the trick play.
Double handoff with the pass.
And he caught it.
Did he catch that ball? Yes, he did. What a trick play. Christian Clemente taking the ball on the extra toss, finding his receiver, Carson Repass. The Rebels are inside the 5-yard line.
Wasn't pretty. All eyes on Guy Lipscomb. Clemente gets it. And, oh, man.
What can you can't say more about that.
Not great,
wow.
but the catch is unreal. And a nice defense by, is that River Katina, number 13?
River Katina gave him everything he could handle on that play.
And Kirkpatrick, the big fella, going to gain a couple.
Looks like he's going to be close. But wow, can't say enough about Repass's catch there. Good defense by Cantina. But what a play call. You mentioned there in the first quarter earlier that you plan to see some trickeration and
that's the old open the playbook. We got nothing to lose kind of mentality.
Absolutely. You're fighting to keep, get into the win column in the region. And as we see with the change of personnel on offense, especially as we see Kirkpatrick again lining up at tailback, they are holding nothing back, or the Rebels. Second down and goal from the 2-yard line. Nichols gives it to Kirkpatrick. Second and third effort.
Oh, they call it. Touchdown.
My head was down at the screen. Looked like Independence had stopped him, but we have a new score, folks.
Absolutely.
So with that run by Kirkpatrick, that gives us a 20-14 score, Paul, and I'm speechless.
Homecoming spoilers. And we are in the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen.
We are in the fourth quarter, and we have had, this is probably the fourth lead change now tonight? Third, maybe?
Yeah.
And with Ian Barr set to kick it up, Burr is up and true.
Man.
Gives him and his Rebels a 21-14 over Independence once again.
Yeah, we'll see just Kirkpatrick running off left guard, in between the left guard and tackle, and going to create a little lean there, and touchdown, Rebels.
Yeah, great push by the offensive front. And was able to get Kirkpatrick into the end zone. So, Paul Breece, a 21-14 Rebels lead. Last year, 24-7. Independence came out on top. Year before that, 34-24. And then before that, Independence was in 5A. So both teams are very familiar with each other. The rivalry's healthy. Independence on a 3-game winning streak this year, and also a 2-game winning streak in this rivalry. The Rebels are trying to ruin that and make this a game and change this game history up a little bit and turn this into a true 6A rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of rivalries, Brentwood High all the way to the Ravenwood 10, could not capture a touchdown. They kicked a field goal, 14-12 Ravenwood, late in the third.
Hope nobody picked the over in that game. Ian Burr with the touchback kick.
And the great thing about this game is a tremendous job that both coaching staffs have done and the teams have done. Penalties. I love it. Let the guys
thereof,
play.
yeah,
Lack
100%.
of penalties, 100%.
I think if you take away a couple mental mistakes on offense from the Eagles, and especially at least one of the two interceptions, this score would be a lot different.
Yeah.
And the Rebels are doing everything they can to capitalize on those situations given. So first and 10 from the 20. Wilson receives the pass from Ethan Cash on the left, and will get it up to around the 34-yard line.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you're Franklin, you've got to make that first tackle. You cannot let Independence get a chunk of 10, 12 yards every time they, catch the ball.
And the fact that Ethan Cash is getting the ball out of his hands so quickly,
absolutely,
it's getting to the receivers the ball before the defense can make a play on them, and giving the receivers a time to make that first step or extra cut to get those extra yards, as we saw on that last play for sure.
They're basically, Franklin's dropping 6.
Going deep.
Oh, and that's wide
got
open.
His man. As Ethan Cash faked the bubble screen to the right. Brigham Moracle able to get free on that right side.
Yeah,
and
you see it right
Ethan
here. He
Cash
stares
put it on
that
a
bubble
dime.
screen down, and it just hits the guy released off the wheel route. And that is a huge catch, and just could not keep it in bounds, but huge gain nonetheless.
At that point, you don't want to try to do anything too much. Great ball placement by Ethan Cash. Great play call. Eagles moving as Phillips, ball up the middle, makes a man miss. Gets some room to the outside, bounces it to the left. Blockers upfield. Campbell leading the way for Phillips, and Phillips showing us that yards after contact being a big stat tonight for number 20.
Huge, big run. making guys miss. That's Franklin's Achilles, it seems like right now. They've got to make first contact tackles.
And what I love so much about that play, and what I've said a lot in a lot of these broadcasts, is the blocks down the field by your receivers. Knowing their game.
Yeah.
And if you see here, there towards the end on the left, right here, goes right by your screen was Campbell, and I think blocked 2 guys there on the end. So first down, Cash, off right tackle. Lowers his shoulder, gets his way almost to the 5-yard line, make it to 6, and that will be another chain mover. First and goal, Ethan Cash and Independence Eagles.
And Franklin, unfortunately, right now probably has a depth issue up front with linemen, and those guys are just getting, having a tough time. And there you see the replay from 2 plays ago as Phillips just running around, getting the first down.
First down and goal. Cash rolling right.
Open.
Has his receiver.
No.
There's Morrisell. Did he keep his feet in? And
yeah, he did catch it. It didn't. He was trying to look for a touchdown, and he caught it, but he leaned to the 1.
Must have fell the wrong way there. Well, great acrobatic ability by Morrisell there to haul the ball in. Let's watch this.
Yeah, caught it in the end zone, but the ball never crossed. You can have your feet all day, but
I say if we were in college football, they would have to look at that one. But that was a great effort, nonetheless. As
Ethan Cash.
Wow. That's a 100%er when you're inside the 5-yard line for the Eagles. Touchdown, Eagles. Ethan Cash, no doubt about it. Line up the big men. Give number 10 the ball. Let him get you on the board, and that's what Ethan Cash has done tonight.
Again, no worry. The Eagles seem to not be panicky at all when it comes to their offense. They just do what they do best.
And and I love the fact that the Rebels are in this game. It's a simple ping pong effect. You got that, I got this. Okay, you're going to score, I'm going to score. Same Hinkie gets the extra point up. So, Paul Breece, once again, we are tied.
Yeah, and it's
21-21.
The Ethan Cash show. And again, it's just Franklin making contact, but just can't seem to wrap up and bring him down. Cash waltzes in.
And what I like a lot is a lot of attention that Chase Bishop has gotten from the Rebels defense. That has opened up the field. We have seen Calvin Wilson and Brian Pierce getting a lot of looks here in the second half, leading the way. I know for sure Jackson Campbell coming in, hot, showing his hands and showing his ability to make plays and picking Ethan Cash up as we saw him picking up his running back on that screen, leading to that score. So, tie ball game. We are in the fourth quarter. Not sure our time remaining.
No,
but
that's a problem for us.
Let's know. I'm going to assume that we're no less than halfway, and we have plenty of time for this game to get more interesting. As Independence scoring fairly quickly there. We'll see how their defense responds. As Mr. Hinkie will put his right foot into it and send us underway for this next possession. On the ground once again.
Got Lipscomb.
There's Lipscomb finding a lane on the left. And tripped up on the play. I think that was number 15 for Independence, Hunter Howard. That's not right.
Wait a minute. Just because he has his quarterback next to his name on the roster, you got to believe that you never know.
Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I apologize. The name from the PA announcer sounded different than what I said.
Okay. I got you.
I'm not sure if that was right or not. But nonetheless, once again, those numbers are the devil. But Josh Nichols starting inside his own 30. Looks over the middle. He has his man. That's repass. That is a go-to receiver that Nichols has found himself in touch with tonight, Paul, and one play.
Absolutely. The play
one
fake.
first down.
Yeah, the guy Lipscomb, all the attention went to number 2 right there in the backfield, and repass just ran up the seam. Nichols, the first complete throw that he's stepping through into it.
Sure, exactly. I like that they finally threw in a little bit of play action there and opened up the defense. So option to the right. Lipscomb stays with it. And looks like he will be about a yard loss on the play. 42, Zach Smith in on the tackle.
Yeah.
Good push up front by the Eagles. Sorry, Paul.
No. The last 4 weeks you've seen Guy Lipscomb run that kind of option right there, and then now he's got to receive the ball, and once he got it, it basically was a done deal as Independence had recovered defensively.
So empty back set.
Yeah, last time what happened right here, Josh Nichols with a big gain on this empty backfield set.
Sends a man in motion. That's got his man on the left side, Clemente. Trying to get to the second level, was unable to. Got about 5 yards on the carry.
Looks like a penalty flag, holding.
I was too busy watching the ball there. Missed that flag. So the positive gain by Clemente will be negated. So that'll make it 2nd and long for the Rebels, and that is the last thing Donnie Webb and the Rebels on that sideline want to see is that ball moving backwards, especially by self-inflicted wounds.
If there was a team out here that could convert on a 2nd and 18, Independence would be that team. Franklin, the playbook doesn't open up for a 2nd and 18 very well.
Well, let's see what Josh Nichols and company can do. See if they can get some of the yardage back. Scrambles right, flushed out, floats it up, has his man on the right side, Mitch Lanick. And, Paul, they didn't have a 2nd and 18 play, but they had a 2nd and 10 play.
Absolutely.
And looks like they're going to pass the original line of scrimmage, bring up 3rd down and 6.
Nichols flushed out on the run. Catch by Lanick, leans forward, gain of 10. Now you're in a pretty good 3rd and 6 kind of situation right here where you can convert this.
Absolutely, and you also think, is this 4-down territory? 6 minutes left to go in this game. Nichols looking left.
No, it's incomplete, yeah.
Yeah, went to throw it. Looks like he mishandled the ball.
I think he did not really want to throw it. I think he was just his intention was to throw it, and then he realized, wait a minute, I probably don't need to throw it.
It looked like he wanted to tuck it in and run. Yeah. Just kind of let himself get a little bit out in front there. But nonetheless, special teams getting another look as Ian Burr will be set to punt off to, I believe that is number 9, Vinny Cardella the third.
VC3.
That's right. I forgot the nickname.
Yeah, it's all right. That's a pretty good fair catch. Nice job by VC3 right there. And I wish that Dory Jackson were here to take some lessons from him.
Yeah, here we go again. that conversation's outside of both of our pay grades combined. Frustration, I feel you there, sir. So we are just under 6 minutes left to go.
6 minutes?
Just under 6, Paul Breece. 4th quarter football tied 21-21. Independence and Franklin. The Eagles have the football spread out. Cash to the left to Campbell. Campbell makes 2 men miss. Paul Breece, that is what we talked about, making that first tackle, unable to do it. And by the spot, looks like Campbell is going to be out for 11, enough to move for the change for the first down.
That is a heartbreaker for Franklin defensively. Had him dead to right, needed to make the tackle. That's was that 21 Jet?
Jet right there. Uncharacteristic for the young man, Jet Wilson. So here we go, 1st and 10. Ethan Cash flips it over to the right. Quick pass.
There we go. Hang on to him, number 11. Who was that? Cooper Grills.
So Brian Pierce met by Mr. Grills, as Paul just mentioned, and a committee of other Rebels. So great sniff out of that little swing bubble screen action to the right. That time looking like Ethan Cash and the Eagles just trying to flip it up a little bit. Same play, not the same result.
Yeah, this is a defensive play, a stance where everyone needs to run to the ball immediately because Grills had him one-handed for most of it, and there needed to be more than just him trying to drag him down. There needed to be 10 people on top of him as well.
100%. Yeah, we saw Lipscomb there coming in, but a good job nonetheless by the Rebels defense.
Pressure, 1-2. Hang on to him, 57.
And the Rebels able to penetrate. Journey King, the junior defensive lineman, able to pick up. I think Cash was able to make it back to the line of scrimmage, but we'll give the kid a sack.
Yeah.
3rd down and long. Long 10, I think, is what they're going to make it.
What did he say? Did he just say 355? Like,
I'm sorry, my big mouth was going. I'm sorry. I'm starting to get into this game now.
Yeah, well, you should. I mean, this is exciting.
3rd down and 10. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Cash sends his running back in motion.
Oh, man.
Ball is caught, Paul, right on the 40-yard line. The line to gain, the 40-yard line.
Bishop with the 1st down. And I mean, 42, John Kirkpatrick missed a tip by a hair length. Wow, you see it. Man, that's 6. I'm sorry.
And I thought it was
Pierce.
too. So after a big 1st down, looks like a little bit of movement on the front of Independence, and it's not called. Jack Phillips taking advantage of it, taking it out of bounds, crossing the 52, about the 46-yard line. Paul Breece, I think the Eagles got lucky on that one.
Absolutely, kind of got away with one right there. Left tackle looks like started a little bit early, and that just so happened to be the direction of the ball.
Well, nonetheless, the chains have moved, and waiting on the officials to move that clock. 1st and 10. Cash, quarterback keeper, bounces out to the right side. And there's Kirkpatrick battling with the offensive guard, disrupting the run there at the beginning. Cash able to keep his head down and get 2 on the carry. Just can't say enough about how that kid runs.
Yeah, Kirkpatrick doing a fantastic job leading this defense. The senior. Oh, there we go. Now we have a clock.
So running 2.5 minutes. Probably down to about 2:25 now.
And the Eagles only need 1 play.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
But you don't
screen sniffed out. That's Jet Wilson.
Making up that missed tackle there on Campbell there earlier at the 40-yard line, Paul. And what a play.
Yeah, read it. Finally, Wilson, you see Journey Keene right there. I mean, this is a tough battle for this D-line for Franklin, but Jet Wilson, 21, saw the screen taking place. They've ran it, I think, 3 or 4 times on him.
Beeline right to the running back. That was a great defensive play.
3rd and 9.
So we're down close to 1.5 minutes with the clock rolling.
Oh, God, Lipscomb.
Guy Lipscomb once again coming in huge, Paul Breece. Going over the receiver. I think that was intended for Campbell. Not a bad read by Ethan Cash. He got the receiver that was open. What a play by Lipscomb on defense, just reading it well.
Normally not the safety, and he has come in and done a business-like job on the offense and defensive side of the ball tonight.
So decision time for the Eagles. Clock is stopped. All 3 timeouts on both sides. Looks like even though the ball is on the other end of the 45, Coach Scott Blade going a little bit against your hypothesis there pregame.
Well, 4th and 9. Now they're going to call timeout. Who knows?
Right,
they may think about it.
That's what I'm saying. It's very, very interesting decision. But we will see what happens. This game, Paul Breece, so important in the region standings. 1-0 is Independence. Franklin 0-1. Desperately trying to get into that win column and keep away from that dreaded 0-2 start in a very tightly knit region race that we got going on week 5.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of, here comes a report in from Michael Williamson,
Brentwood
High School. Brentwood scores a 20-yard touchdown pass to the tight end, and they now lead Ravenwood 18-14 with 25 seconds in the third quarter.
Goodness gracious. What do you think this is going to do to the national and state standings and the eyes around the state looking at Ravenwood coming from the southeast part of the state? But
Ravenwood on paper was just going to cakewalk this thing to Cookeville at the state championship, but man, there's other people that are saying differently.
There's two teams here that are capable of giving them a fight as well. As the punt is sent off, Franklin decides to catch it at their own 5-yard line. That great punt, first of all, by number 41, Cooper Allen. I didn't catch. Was that Lipscomb who caught?
No, that was Mitch Lanick. And I tell you what, Donnie Webb is not happy. I don't think Mitch Lanick realized he was that deep. You know, the rule of thumb is put your feet on the 10 and don't move.
If you go backwards, that's usually what it is. But at the same time, if I remember correctly, that was good coverage downfield by the Eagles, and I think he was somewhat surrounded with a good bounce from that punt. It could have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't catch it. I don't think. You're exactly right. I don't think you catch it.
Well, either
give
way,
it a chance.
Either way, you got to push forward right here for these runs. You got to get out of regulation and play for overtime. If you're Franklin, I think if
you're Franklin, you got what, a minute 10, minute 20.
And take the overtime. You're
Big Kirkpatrick taking it up the middle.
Now here's where Scott Blade will he call timeout and see if he can get the ball back, but I think he's going to let it run.
Guy Lipscomb checking into the ball game as Kirkpatrick takes a seat. Still waiting to hear a time, but the clock moving. I think a minute and 10 now and running. I think you're right, Paul, at least by the first play, planning on extra time, but spread it out to the right a little, and with Guy Lipscomb in the backfield, let's see what they do on second down. Lipscomb with the carry. Bounces it up to the middle, gets it past the 10-yard line to the 11, and looks like a timeout is going to be called by the Rebels.
Oh, wow.
So after a solid run there, I almost look. Now, it could have been give to Lipscomb all day long, but that hole Nichols had, if he were to keep that read, I think we have 6 points on the board right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the officials may have pointed the wrong way. I think this is totally Independence calling the timeout. I do not see why Franklin would call a timeout 3rd and 3 with less than a minute to go.
Hey, don't kill the messenger. I was telling you the people at home what my guys in black and white were saying. But I think you're right, but it doesn't make any sense for Franklin to. Now, granted, you got just less than a minute, plenty of quick stop, another timeout. Like you said, Independence can score at any time.
It would be interesting to see. Our statistician is on vacation, but I would love to see Ethan Cash's stats passing-wise. I mean, there's not been too many off-target receptions at all, or passes, obviously.
Other than the 2 interceptions, I think you're right, and he's got at least 2 or 3 on the feet.
2 interceptions?
He has 2 interceptions tonight, doesn't he? Or is it just 1?
I know Guy Lipscomb had 1. If you could call the other one.
Maybe I'm
getting old, obviously.
I could have swore there was 2 turnovers. I don't know. Maybe it was a turnover on 4th down. I'm not sure. We'll get that checked in, but
oh my goodness.
3rd down, the bring in the house.
This is totally a keeper. No.
Down the field. And intended receiver Christian Clemente unable to get it.
Coach Donnie Webb and Franklin, they are throwing the ball.
Who called the timeout?
Independence called the timeout, I believe.
So we are sure with that.
I'm not 100% sure, but
at the scoreboard. That play.
It looks like Franklin may have set it up. I mean, again, Nichols.
Not a bad look. But
no. It totally probably caught everybody off guard, but I mean, here's the situation. Ian Burr, definitely a great punter, but you got the Independence.
He's gonna have to put everything behind this.
You got VC3 standing at the 50, and if he gets this anywhere near the 30, now Franklin's calling the timeout. But man,
I'm not sure, Paul. You need the best punt of your life if you're Ian Burr to at least get VC3 to catch the ball at the worst on his 40, and But also got to look out for maybe potential pressure that the Eagles, I think, should be bringing with the ball sitting on that 11-yard line.
Yeah, if Independence catches it cleanly, avoids any kind of penalty, they got a shot. They got a shot for sure. And
do we know anything about these two kickers, the place kickers? I know we know Ian Burr has a great
solid
punting leg.
He can kick it as well. Why is the Independence kicker? Why am I having?
So I figured it out in pregame. I was watching the warm-ups. Sam Hinkie, number 98, is the place kicker and kickoffer, and Cooper Allen, number 41, is the junior, and he is the place the kicker.
Okay.
If we're talking what are we talking? Independence or Franklin?
Independence.
Yeah. So he's the punter. And we haven't seen them do.
And they're always standing down here off by themselves, so we can figure it out. The long snapper is probably 24.
Right, exactly.
Andrew Holloway.
So here we go.
Franklin avoid disaster here with the snap and the catch.
Independence not bringing much pressure. Low kick, trying to get a good Rebel bounce, and will roll out around the 50.
Yeah.
48.
I don't.
Looks like they're giving him the 49. 33 seconds.
Wow, 33 seconds.
Oh, boy.
Without the scoreboard, everything's just a surprise.
Keeps you on the edge of your seats.
Absolutely.
Hey, a 21-21 score makes it that much more.
Yeah. And when you
fun.
have a number 5, Chase Bishop, you have a chance to take it to the house in one play.
Well, and the arm of number 10 that can get it there flat-footed from where he's standing right now.
Absolutely.
So what, we think one timeout, I think, remaining for Independence, maybe two. I think they might have only called one there because Franklin called the one after. So
yeah,
let's be safe and say two, possibly one timeout left for Independence. Arguably half the field to go.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah, I think the 20-yard line is the in my opinion, that would make it about a 37-yarder.
That's where Hinkie was practicing a lot, was around 37 to 40-yard range. And I think that's where Scott Blade's going to be comfortable to keep him. But I think right now your first play or two looking – you know you can't get it all at once. You want to get to the sidelines. You at least want to move the chains to get that clock stopped momentarily. As we have a meeting at midfield, referee Charlie Hensley and crew discussing what we have going on. I'm assuming it's got to be the time.
Yeah, and timeout situation.
Sure.
I think, definitely the time, not being able to see it up here.
So 21-21, 33 seconds left to go. Independence with the ball to take the win before regulation ends, and the Rebels get to him.
Wow.
That was big number 74, I believe, is who that was, Paul, that you've been saying his name, Fisher Anderson.
Maybe 71.
It might have been 71.
Yeah,
That's the one. Clay Crowder in there for the huge sack, forcing Independence to burn another timeout. And 26 seconds are left on a clock somewhere in the stadium. So both teams trying to figure out what they're going to do on this next play. We got a good one for you right now here at Independence High School, September 20th. Beautiful Friday evening. If you're enjoying our broadcast on YouTube or Facebook live streaming, we will be at Summit High School next week. Myself and Michael Williams will be calling Clarksville Northwest as they travel here in Spring Hill to face the Summit Spartans. And I don't know much about Clarksville Northwest, but I hope they are ready for some points to be put up on the board from the Summit Spartans, as both of these teams on the field know exactly what that feels like.
Absolutely.
So after the timeout and the big sack, Ethan Cash from his own 45-yard line drops back, looking. All the time in the world, goes deep. Tipped by Reed Kemp. Reed Kemp, Paul, is a name we have not said much tonight.
No.
Very good basketball player. Very good cover man, as we see right there as he was able to hog down that ball. What a huge play, because his man was there for Ethan Cash, was Brian Pierce.
19 seconds, and once Kemp tipped the ball, that gave the defender to just go ahead and lay out Bishop, and it would not be called for pass interference. So very smart.
So 3rd down. Cash looking deep again. Bounces out to his left. On the run. Overthrows Pierce. On the left side. Jet Wilson in coverage. And that will bring up 4th down, Paul Breece. And
12 seconds.
You said 12 seconds? I mean, why not go for it, right? Well, that's too much time. On your own 45-yard line, you don't get it. I don't know. What do you do here, Coach?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think Cash could run around for at least 7 of it. But I think it's a smart play. Ian Burr has got a leg. And, he can make it interesting for sure if he's given the shot.
So looks like, with Cooper Allen, hold the phone. Looks like another timeout on the field by the Rebels is taken.
Pretty smart move. Just to want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. I mean, you can't take it with you. I mean, I guess you could. You can still get an extra timeout at overtime, and it goes overtime.
I think you're going over like 2 or 3 different possibilities and scenarios of different types of punts that could happen, and what you're doing. Number one, as the punt receiver, what you're doing with the ball there.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a 100%. Hey, Chase Lennox, you may have messed up a little bit on the last punt. Hey, let this one go and just let it bounce.
Yeah, I mean, you're inside your own red zone. Doesn't matter. I mean, one play, you're in overtime. So Cooper Allen back to punt. Mitch Lanick back to receive from his own 24-yard line for the Rebels. 12 seconds to go. Low snap. Allen able to get the punt away. High spiraling kick. Back spins to the 35-yard line. No time off the clock. Correct?
No, it goes.
It goes on the punt?
Yes.
Okay. So 3 seconds. Okay. Answers my question.
Only on the kickoff.
Thank you. I knew there was a difference, but 35-yard line, a little less than 3/4 of the field. What do you think? We're going to overtime, Paul?
For sure, my friend. Take a knee and let's go to the 10. And let's go to overtime.
I think if this does go to overtime, this will be my first experience of watching high school football overtime. I think other than when I was in high school here at Independence.
Right.
So you're saying it starts at the 10-yard line?
10-yard line.
All right. Well, NFL commissioner and home office people, pay attention. We got some things they can change up there, too.
Yeah, absolutely. College, they go to the 25.
Right, exactly. I figured that's what we did here. Well, Nichols is going to drop back for a pass. He is running to his left, throws short. There's Lanick, and I think, no need to risk anything there, Paul. So, well, you asked for it, and now you got it, Paul. We have extra football here at Independence High School. The Eagles and the Rebels tied at 21. We have free football here in Thompson Station, Tennessee.
Free football on your streaming as well.
And free football.
I assume, right?
Well, of course.
Absolutely.
As long as they got us on the air and giving this great analysis and perfect game calling ability, why would you go away?
I was just told that by a friend of mine that was at the airport that was watching and listening to the stream and said it was coming in loud and clear.
Hey, we're reaching out all the way to B&A. I love it.
Nah, that's right. Well, speaking of, on our way to B&A would be bypassing Brentwood High School, and you're not going to believe this one.
Oh boy.
Oh boy is right. Brentwood High. Quarterback dive, touchdown, Grand Zal, 25-14, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's right.
11 points.
11 points.
Wow. I bet that atmosphere and that place is rocking.
I mean, there is no one that is left, at least on the Brentwood side.
There can't be. Couldn't be anyone that's left at that stadium, but I know for a fact no one's left here after a heck of regulation played by both teams. Franklin just. I mean, what do you make? What do you make of Franklin? You, Paul Breece, not being a very big believer in this team, keep making it a matchup, and they have been able to do that. And just, I think it just goes into a little bit of defensive immaturity for Independence, and just their offense coming out just a little bit flat, and the Rebels answering every bell.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not a believer, but it's witnessing it firsthand last week.
Fair enough.
And then witnessing Independence 2 weeks ago, I just didn't seem like it was really going to be. I mean, it was going to be a game, but should it go to overtime? Probably not. But credit.
But we get to watch it, though,
Absolutely.
and call it, so that's great.
Absolutely.
And I think that the point that you made at the beginning of the broadcast of, Donnie Webb making it very, very clear.
Yeah.
With the 6 teams in the region, 0-2 is not where you need to start, and you need to be one of those top 4 teams, and to get a feather in your cap just by making it to overtime, let alone possibly beating Independence, is a huge, huge night. But they have a few more plays left to go.
Yeah, you got to think of it this way. Donnie Webb may have used the Summit game as kind of a decoy. I mean, I'm not saying this is true or not. I think he's always out to win every game. But I think preparation-wise, you're going to put a little extra into region games than you are non-region games. And for the example, Brentwood High School lost to Henry County last week. Henry County, the 5A school, 24-14. Now, Michael Williams, our Johnny on the spot, just texted me and said Brentwood just made an interception with 5 minutes left.
Oh, my goodness.
And the Bruins are in great shape to shock 6A football.
So if that were to happen, that would bring Ravenwood, Brentwood with 1 loss, right? No, Ravenwood with a loss. Brentwood does not have a region loss.
Brentwood does not have a loss, just not a region loss.
Ravenwood would have a region loss. If Franklin comes back and wins this game, Independence has a region loss. We have a heck of a matchup or a tie-up, whatever you want to call it, in this 6A region. But first, Paul Breece, we have possession number 1 by the Eagles.
Yeah.
And let's get this overtime started. This game just got bigger than big after the news by Michael Williams. First down and goal, I guess, would be the proper term.
Sure, absolutely. You got to go 10 to get there. What's going to happen? Oh, my. And that is a huge, huge penalty. That's going to make it 1st and 15 now.
Okay, I was going to say a little bit of movement there on offense.
Yeah. The thing about it is this. It probably doesn't hurt Independence as much. It gives them a little more room to operate for the receivers, actually.
Yeah, with their style of play, you would think a little bit of breathing room would be nice. Judging by that potential play call, looking to stay on the ground first play. Let's see if they stick with that game plan or not. So 5 yards back after the penalty, 1st and 15. Cash over the middle. Overthrows Campbell.
And here's the problem. He was open.
He beat Reed Kemp off the line of scrimmage. Took that inside post route and just happened to overthrow him just a bit.
And he came off pretty clean. So 2nd and 15. Will Ethan Cash come into effect in the running game right here?
You would think. I'm surprised that wasn't their first play out of the huddle when it started on the 10. But over the middle, once again, same play. That's Jackson Campbell, and he catches it. Ethan Cash, Jackson Campbell, finally, Mr. Campbell able to get into the end zone. Healthy dose of balls tonight. Touchdown, Independence. And they get the scoring started early and quickly in this overtime period, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to get him the same play is huge.
Right? I mean, it looked like the same play, didn't it?
It absolutely did.
And the window was just as small that he was throwing it, too.
Yeah. This time, Ethan Cash did not miss. And credit Jackson Campbell just for hanging on to it.
Absolutely. Good throw, great catch. And Sam Hinkie able to put the ball through. That will put Independence, after their first turn in overtime, up 28-21 And there's that good
Wow.
piece of work by Ethan Cash.
Reed Kemp right on the money defensively, but just could not pull it away from clean play by Campbell.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like Kemp was closer and more into the play on that one than he was previously. But it just shows how great of a pass that was by Ethan Cash. So answer time here for the Rebels. Josh Nichols, first start this year at quarterback, has Kirkpatrick, his linebacker, his defensive end behind him in the pistol formation as his tailback. Gives to him.
Uh-oh.
And Kirkpatrick met immediately at the line, able to fall forward for maybe a couple. So they're going to put the ball down at the 8-yard line, Paul, after, I don't know, maybe that was a feeler by the offense of the Rebels.
Yeah, it could have been. Could have been to, Kirkpatrick, kind of the pounding running back when you get into close territory. But now Guy Lipscomb, will they give him a little bit of space here? Give him a little running head start.
Well, with the receivers to the right, maybe we'll have like a little sweep to the right as we see here.
Oh,
And
man.
he was met once again at the line of scrimmage and goes no further. And that was big number 71, Carter Runyon, and 25, Harrison Van Horn, in to make the stop.
Yeah, do you want to put the ball up in the air right here on 3rd and 8.5?
I think they need to show a little bit more motion in the backfield. That seemed to work, earlier in this game.
Well, barring an interception, you're going to get 2 plays here.
Nichols rolls left.
Uh-oh, pressure on the backside.
Still going.
He's
He's
throw it
throw it
up.
away. And throws it in the back of the end zone, looking for repass. And Paul, that was almost a disaster.
Yeah, that could have made it. Josh Nichols could have taken a sack at the 20. He did a tremendous job just to save another day and throw it in the back of the end zone as hard as he could. Now he just needs 8, but this is the game right here.
And that it is, Paul.
And I got to believe that Coach Webb's going to call a timeout.
Well, you would think. Biggest play of the game. This is the ball game. This is for a spot at the top of the region, if you will. And so the Rebels call timeout. I'm interested in the play calling, Paul, by the Rebels. Number one, Lipscomb seeing the ball one time, and I don't know. What do you think?
Here's my thought. Here's my thought on this. This could be a situation where Nichols hands it off to Guy Lipscomb, and Guy Lipscomb may throw it. Having been the quarterback the first 3 weeks, you got to believe and trust that he can make a throw. So if you're going to have any kind of trickery right here, this would be the place to use it.
That was going to be my next question. Is it like this has to be a time that we see some type of ball movement or some type of digging under the sleeve, if you will, for Donnie Webb and that offense. But if Guy Lipscomb and company were going to come up with a big play, here it is. And here is a big defensive stand that the Eagles are looking for. Crowds on their feet. 4th down and 8 from the Eagles' 8-yard line. Overtime football. Nichols shovels it to the left.
Throw.
Paul Breece with the call. Lipscomb keeps it and he scores.
Oh my! Guy Lipscomb.
Oh my goodness, Paul Breece with the play call. Guy Lipscomb not able to find his receiver, does it himself, and was not going to be denied getting into the end zone and keeping this game alive for the Rebels. Ian Burr.
Wow. And if you can look right here, Guy Lipscomb, he's got that red wrap, and there is it doesn't look very pretty right there. That is not dirt, I can honestly tell you.
That is a look of a football player. And that is a look of a senior who wants and knows that he needs this win and knows how important this game is for his team. Ian Burr.
Huge.
To put the cherry on top of the tie score.
Uh-oh. There's no Guy Lipscomb.
Independence is confused, Paul. And Scott Blade sprinting, showing off his 20-yard dash to get the referee's official.
Man, Donnie Webb just gave Scott Blade a dose of what he normally would do.
as we see a little bit the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I was gonna
one
say.
of the coaches for the Eagles there. Sigh of relief.
Yeah. Man, they really caught Independence right there.
Man, I don't even know what to say about that.
You're on the road. You had nothing to lose coming in. When it comes to, on paper, I mean, you weren't even supposed to be like this. Donnie Webb rolling the dice.
Yeah, thank you, Lance and the crew in the truck.
This is
play
huge.
here.
I mean, this was set up. He was going to try to throw it in the back of the end zone.
You called it.
And there goes Guy Lipscomb. That was just him versus everybody.
Probably about 7 Independence Eagles because his offensive line thought the play was on the other side. So what a play.
Yeah.
What a score to keep them in it.
Okay.
And here we go once
We're
again.
do it again.
All right, Paul Breece. Looks like the Rebels are going for the win.
Hard count. Throw. It's going
Back
to be
to the
backside. He's wide open. Nichols missed it.
The fake to the right side. Josh Nichols rolling to the right, frees up his man to the left. I think that was going to be number
88.
88. Jake Willow. Just unable to catch it. What a gutsy play, Paul Breece, by Donnie Webb, and the decision to go for it in overtime instead of going to the second. Hey, you had him where you wanted him. Why not take it then? What an absolute barn burner of a game we got to witness and call, Paul Breece.
Tremendous.
So after going for the 2-point conversion and the win, the Eagles and their defense stand up strong. Ethan Cash leading his crew offensively to a 28-27 overtime win. My name is Parker Hazard, and for Paul Breece, we hope you guys enjoyed it. Tune in to us next week, live broadcast on YouTube and Facebook once again at Summit High School. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.